The Cardassian warship's sensors detected an impossibly massive human vessel decloaking behind the Retribution. And in that moment, Grand Commander Hydrus realized his people's conquest of Earth had just become their greatest nightmare. Commander Vincent Collins of the United Nations Space Command stood on the bridge of humanity's most advanced warship, the USS Retribution. His eyes were locked on the view screen, showing the lone Cardassian scout craft rapidly approaching Earth. The small ship had broken formation from the rest of the Cardassian fleet patrolling near Earth's orbit. Its heavy shielding and unknown intentions raised alarms throughout UNSC High Command. Collins knew if the Cardassians discovered Earth's true defensive capabilities, they would swiftly annex or destroy the planet to maintain their iron-fisted rule over the galaxy. The Cardassian Empire had conquered countless worlds. Failure here would mean Earth's enslavement or utter extinction. "Intercept course laid in, sir," the helmsman reported. "Weapons hot and shields at maximum." "Engage," Collins ordered. "We cannot allow that ship to report back." The Retribution soared to meet the intruding craft. As they closed distance, the warship's powerful sensor array penetrated the scout's shields, revealing a single life sign. The pilot was Hydrus, a notorious Cardassian commander known for his cruelty and tactical brilliance. "Sir, we're being hailed," the comms officer said. The view screen flickered to show Hydrus sneering from the cramped cockpit of his ship. "Is this the best Earth can muster? A single primitive vessel against the might of the Cardassian Empire?" Collins smirked. "Oh, we've got a lot more than that." Hydrus's eyes went wide as his own sensors blared a proximity alert. The scanners showed an enormous cloaked shape directly behind the Retribution, shimmering into view. It stretched for miles, bristling with impossibly advanced weaponry that dwarfed anything in the Cardassian fleet. "Allow me to introduce Earth's real ace in the hole," Collins said. "The USS Blackstar. She's armed with singularity cannons, nova bombs, and enough firepower to wipe your civilization out of existence." Hydrus's hands trembled on his controls, his face drained of color. "I suggest you run home with your tail between your legs and let your masters know that Earth is permanently off limits," Collins said coldly. "Or we'll unleash the Blackstar. You'll be nothing but cosmic dust in a matter of days." Hydrus slammed his thrusters to full power and fled, all thoughts of an easy conquest shattered. As the gargantuan Blackstar loomed in orbit, imposing and unassailable, a shudder of fear rippled through the Cardassian Empire. A new galactic superpower had arisen to challenge their supremacy. On the Blackstar's bridge, Collins reflected on the ramifications of Earth's greatest secret being unveiled. Playing the part of weak and primitive upstarts was over. One way or another, humanity would now take its rightful place as the dominant force in the universe, or die trying. The sudden revelation of the Blackstar's existence sent shockwaves rippling through the galactic community. Earth, long dismissed as a primitive backwater, now commanded the fear and respect of even the mighty Cardassian Empire. But as Commander Vincent Collins stood before the shadowy figures of UNSC High Command, he knew their momentary advantage was already slipping away. "Intelligence indicates the Cardassians are mobilizing for a full-scale invasion," Admiral Graves said, his weathered face grim. "They're rallying their vassal races, calling in every favor and debt. They mean to neutralize our technological edge and subjugate Earth once and for all." Collins' hands clenched into fists. "We can't let that happen, sir." "Agreed," Graves said, "which is why we're authorizing a preemptive strike. You'll lead the Blackstar and a hand-picked crew to hit the Cardassian staging grounds, cripple their war machine before it can fully mobilize. Buy us time to shore up our defenses and gather allies among the galaxy's conquered races," Collins said, nodding. "It won't be easy. The Cardassians guard their installations zealously." "No one said it would be easy, Commander," Graves replied. "But it's our best hope. Assemble your team. The Blackstar leaves at 0600 tomorrow. Dismissed." Collins saluted sharply and strode from the briefing room, his mind racing. He needed the best of the best for this mission. People he could trust with the fate of not just Earth, but the entire free galaxy. His first stop was the quarters of Lieutenant Commander Reese, his right-hand man and master tactician. Reese was hunched over a hollow table, running simulations of Cardassian fleet movements. He looked up as Collins entered, quirking an eyebrow. "I know that look," Reese said. "We're going on the offensive?" "Looks like it," Collins confirmed. "I need you by my side, Reese. This mission, it's bigger than anything we've faced before." Reese stood, squaring his shoulders. "I'm with you, Commander. To the end." Next, Collins sought out Dr. Sanjay Patel, the Blackstar's brilliant xenotechnologist. Patel was elbow-deep in the guts of some alien contraption, his dark hair wild and his lab coat stained with unidentifiable fluids. "Doctor, I need your expertise," Collins said. "We're going deep into Cardassian space. I need you to keep the Blackstar running and provide any technological edge you can." Patel looked up, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "A chance to study Cardassian tech up close? I wouldn't miss it for the world." Finally, Collins made his way to the training deck, where the Omega Force was engaged in a brutal, simulated firefight. These genetically enhanced super soldiers were Earth's ultimate warriors, and Collins handpicked the best of them for his crew. As the simulation ended, Collins addressed the sweating, panting soldiers. "Men, I won't mince words. The mission we're embarking on could decide the fate of Earth and the galaxy. I need you at your best. Am I understood?" A chorus of "Yes, sir," echoed through the room, the Omegas snapping to attention. Satisfied, Collins made his way to the Blackstar's berthing dock. The mammoth warship hung in space, a sleek black dagger ready to pierce the heart of the Cardassian Empire. As he boarded, Collins felt the weight of his mission settling on his shoulders. The fates of untold billions rested in his hands. Failure was not an option. The Blackstar tore its way into null space, the stars stretching into long blue lines. Their destination, the secret staging grounds where the Cardassians gathered their invasion fleet. It was there that Collins and his crew would strike the first blow in what could be the final war for galactic freedom. As the ship hurtled through the void, Collins pored over every scrap of intelligence they had on the staging grounds. It was a sprawling complex of shipyards, training camps, and munitions depots, heavily guarded by the cream of the Cardassian military. Infiltrating it would be no easy feat, but Collins had a plan. Under cover of a meteor shower, the Blackstar slipped through the Cardassian sensor nets and entered the atmosphere of the staging grounds planet. Patel's technical wizardry kept them off the enemy's scopes as they made planetfall in a remote, mountainous region. From there, Collins led a small infiltration team, himself, Reese, and a squad of Omega Force commandos, towards the heart of the complex. What they found there shook them to their core. In a vast, stinking pit, millions of slave soldiers from 100 conquered races toiled under the cruel gaze of their Cardassian overseers. They were being brutally trained, their bodies augmented with Cardassian tech to transform them into shock troops for the coming assault on Earth. The Cardassians didn't just mean to conquer humanity. They meant to absorb them, to swell the ranks of their ever-growing thrall army. Collins's blood ran cold at the realization. They had to stop this here and now. The infiltration team made their way to the complex's central command post. There, as the Omega soldiers laid waste to the Cardassian defenders, Patel hacked into the facility systems. With a few keystrokes, he disabled the complex's defenses, turning the automated weapons on their Cardassian masters. Chaos erupted across the staging grounds as the horde of slave soldiers, their Cardassian shackles suddenly loosened, rose up in a tide of bloody vengeance. The Blackstar rained precision strikes from orbit, crippling key targets and sowing further confusion. Amid the mayhem, Collins and Reese fought their way into the heart of the command post, securing the central data cores. It was there, sifting through the enemy's most guarded secrets, that they discovered a chilling truth. The Cardassians were building a planet killer, a weapon capable of harnessing the power of a star to scour entire worlds clean of life, and the fanatical Commander Hydrus had been placed in charge of the weapon's final testing. Earth had been chosen as the target. Collins felt a cold knot of dread form in his gut. They had crippled the Cardassian invasion before it could begin, but now a far deadlier threat loomed on the horizon. Hydrus would not rest until he had reduced Earth to a smoldering cinder, a monument to Cardassian supremacy. They had to stop him, regardless of the cost. The Blackstar tore through space, its engines straining as Collins pushed the vessel to its limits. Every second counted in their race to find Hydrus and stop the planet killer. "Sir, I'm detecting unusual energy readings," the sensor officer reported. "It's coming from within that nebula." Collins leaned forward, studying the swirling gases on the interface. "That's got to be it. Take us in." As they penetrated the nebula's outer layer, the ship rocked violently. Arcs of energy crackled across the hull. "Shields holding at 80%, Reese called out. "But these electromagnetic storms are playing hell with our systems." Suddenly, blinding beams of energy lanced out from the heart of the nebula. The Blackstar shuddered under the assault. "Evasive maneuvers," Collins barked. "Return fire with the singularity cannons." The massive weapons powered up, tearing holes in the fabric of space-time. Collins watched as the energy vortexes ripped through Cardassian defense platforms, crumpling them like tin cans. "We've got an opening," the helmsman shouted. "I can get us alongside their main docking port." "Do it," Collins ordered, already striding towards the airlock. "Omega team, gear up, we're going in hot." Minutes later, Collins led his squad of super soldiers through the Cardassian airlock. The station's corridors were a maze of twisting metal, bathed in harsh red light. Alarms blared as they fought their way deeper. Cardassian troops poured from side passages, energy weapons blazing. The Omegas moved with inhuman speed, their augmented reflexes letting them dodge incoming fire as they cut down foe after foe. Collins rounded a corner and came face to face with Hydrus. The Cardassian's eyes widened in shock before a sneer twisted his features. "You're too late, human," Hydrus spat as Collins tackled him to the ground. "Our weapon is primed and locked on Earth. In less than an hour, your pitiful world will be nothing but ash." Rage boiled in Collins' veins as he smacked his palm into Hydrus's face. "Get this piece of shit to the brig," he snarled to a nearby Omega. "We need to find that weapon control room. Now!" They fought their way through waves of defenders, finally reaching a massive blast door. Dr. Patel's hacking skills made short work of the lock, revealing the nightmarish heart of the station. A pulsing orb of absolute darkness hung suspended in a web of crackling energy fields. Streams of antimatter flowed into massive cannon emplacements that lined the walls. "By all that's holy," Patel breathed, "they've weaponized a singularity." Collins's mind raced. There was no way to safely shut this monstrosity down, let alone move it, which left only one option. "Patel, can you overload this thing?" he asked grimly. The scientist's eyes widened. "You mean cause a localized Big Bang? It's possible, but, sir, the blast would consume everything for light years." Collins nodded. "Do it. Reese, get the Omegas to hold our exit. We're blowing this hellhole sky high." As Patel worked feverishly at the controls, the sounds of battle echoed from the corridor. Collins knew Reese and the Omegas were buying them precious time with their lives. "It's done," Patel shouted. "We have 10 minutes before total containment failure." They sprinted for the Blackstar, Cardassian troops hot on their heels. The ship's airlock had barely sealed when a titanic shockwave slammed into them. "Get us out of here," Collins roared. "The blast is too strong," the helmsman cried. "We'll never clear it in time." "Sir," Patel cut in, "the experimental drive. If I can modify it to generate a transient wormhole." Collins met the scientist's eyes and nodded. "Do it." Patel's fingers flew over his console. The ship groaned as reality itself seemed to twist around them. A blinding flash engulfed the view screen. And suddenly they were drifting in empty space, light years from the inferno they'd unleashed. As the adrenaline faded, Collins felt the weight of their losses. So many good people, gone in an instant. And for what? A temporary victory at best. He made his way to the brig where Hydra sat sneering in his cell. This isn't over, human, the Cardassian hissed. You've only delayed the inevitable. My people will... Your people, Collins cut him off, voice cold as space itself, are finished. Earth won't rest until the Cardassian Empire is nothing but a dark memory. That's a promise. When they finally limped back to Earth, Collins found himself hailed as a savior. But as he looked out at the crowds, all he could see were the faces of those they'd lost. And on the horizon, he knew the greatest battle was yet to come. Collins stood on the bridge of the Blackstar, his hands clasped behind his back as he gazed at the tactical display. The holographic image showed Earth, a blue jewel surrounded by a web of defense platforms and patrolling ships. "Status report," he barked. Reese's fingers flew across his console. Orbital defenses at 89% capacity. Ground-based ion cannons primed and ready. The Mars shipyards are churning out interceptors around the clock. Collins nodded grimly. It would have to be enough. The comm crackled to life. "Commander, incoming transmission from Earth Command." Admiral Graves' weathered face appeared on the main view screen. "Collins, we've got a situation. Long-range scans just picked up a massive Cardassian fleet gathering in the Draven system. Intel puts their numbers at over 10,000 warships." Collins felt his stomach drop. Christ, that's more than triple our entire fleet strength. Graves nodded. "They're coming for Earth, son, and they're out for blood." "We need more time," Collins said, his mind racing. "If we can disrupt their staging area, maybe delay the invasion." "Do it," Graves ordered. "Whatever it takes. I'm giving you full autonomy on this one, Collins. Godspeed." The screen went dark. Collins turned to his crew, willpower etched on his face. "All right, people, you heard the man. We're taking the fight to them. Dr. Patel, I need options." The scientist looked up from his station, eyes gleaming. "I might have something, sir. An experimental cyber weapon I've been tinkering with. If we can get close enough to deploy it." "We'll get you there," Collins assured him. "Helm, set a course for the Draven system. Maximum warp. We're going to give these Cardassian bastards a wake-up call they won't soon forget." The Blackstar streaked through space, a black dagger aimed at the heart of the Cardassian war machine. As they neared the system, Collins ordered the ship to drop out of warp behind a stellar debris field, masking their approach. "Cardassian fleet holding position," Reese reported. "No sign they've detected us." Collins nodded. "Charge the singularity cannons. Dr. Patel, prepare to deploy your cyber weapon." The Blackstar's main weapons hummed to life, reality itself warping around the massive gun barrels. Patel's fingers danced across his console, initializing the virus. "Fire!" Collins ordered. Space itself seemed to tear as the singularity cannons unleashed their fury. Miniature black holes blinked into existence throughout the Cardassian formation, swallowing ships whole and sending the survivors into disarray. In the chaos, Patel's cyber weapon slipped past the enemy's firewalls, infecting their systems with a voracious AI. Alarms blared across the Cardassian fleet as ship after ship lost control, their own weapons turning against them. Collins allowed himself a grim smile of satisfaction. But the victory was short-lived. A massive shape emerged from the carnage, a dreadnought unlike anything Collins had ever seen. Its hull bristled with weapons, and its shields shrugged off debris and friendly fire alike. "Sir?" Reese called out, his voice tight. "We're picking up a transmission from that monster. It's Hydrus." Collins' blood ran cold. On the screen, the sneering face of his nemesis appeared. "Did you really think you could stop us so easily, human?" Hydrus taunted. "You've only ensured your own destruction. Behold the apocalypse, the instrument of humanity's downfall." The Titanic ship's engines flared to life, and a swarm of Cardassian vessels fell into formation behind it. With mounting dread, Collins realized Hydrus was making a beeline for Earth. "All hands, battle stations," Collins barked. "We've got to stop that thing before it reaches Sol. Helm, plot an intercept course. We're taking this fight into the graveyard." The Blackstar surged forward, leading Hydrus and his vanguard on a deadly game of cat and mouse through an ancient minefield. Collins knew it was their only chance, to use the treacherous terrain against a numerically superior foe. As they plunged deeper into the field, Collins steeled himself for the battle to come. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and he would be damned if he let Hydrus and his war machine reach humanity's homeworld. "All right, you scaly son of a bitch," Collins muttered. "Let's dance." Collins' eyes narrowed as he studied the tactical display. The swirling debris field of the graveyard stretched before them, a treacherous maze of twisted metal and dormant mines. "Helm, take us in, full impulse," he ordered. "Weapons, target those proximity mines. Clear us a path." The Blackstar surged forward, its point defense lasers flashing. Mines erupted in silent explosions, their blast waves buffeting the ship. Behind them, Hydrus's dreadnought plowed through the field, its massive bulk crushing smaller obstacles. Cardassian fighters swarmed around it like angry hornets. "Sir," Reese called out, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the apocalypse. They're powering up some kind of main weapon." Collins gritted his teeth. "Evasive pattern delta. We need to buy more time." The Blackstar jinked and rolled, narrowly avoiding sizzling beams of energy that sliced through space. Where they touched, matter simply ceased to exist. "Doctor!" Collins barked, turning to Patel. "Tell me you've got something." Patel's fingers danced across his console. "Maybe. Their systems are incredibly complex, but there's a vulnerability in their power distribution network. If we can overload it..." A violent impact rocked the ship. Sparks showered from ruptured conduits. "Hull breach deck 4, an ensign shouted. "Sealing emergency bulkheads." Collins steadied himself against his chair. "Whatever you're going to do, Doc, do it fast." Patel nodded, sweat beading on his brow. "Initiating upload. Now!" For a moment, nothing happened. Then alarms blared across the bridge as the tactical display lit up with new contacts. "Sir," Reese reported, awe in his voice, "a coalition fleet just dropped out of warp. It's everyone. The Andorians, the Tellarites, even the Vulcans." Collins allowed himself a grim smile. "Looks like Earth called in some favors. All ships, this is Commander Collins. Form up on the Blackstar. We're taking the fight to Cardassia Prime." The coalition fleet surged forward, a tide of steel and willpower crashing against the Cardassian lines. Fighters dueled in swirling dogfights while capital ships exchanged punishing broadsides. Collins barked orders, coordinating the assault. The Blackstar danced through the chaos, its weapons lashing out with deadly precision. Suddenly, Hydrus's face appeared on the main view screen, his features contorted with rage. "You think this changes anything, human? Cardassia will burn your world to ash." "Not today," Collins growled, cutting the transmission. "Helm, set course for Cardassia Prime. Maximum warp." The Blackstar streaked away from the battle, punching through the weakened Cardassian lines. As they neared the Cardassian homeworld, Collins saw the vast orbital defense grid arrayed before them. "Sir," Patel called out, "I've identified their central control node. If we can get close enough..." Collins nodded. "Do it." The Blackstar dove towards the planet, weaving through a storm of weapons fire. Patel's fingers flew across his console, uploading the virus into Cardassia's core systems. Suddenly, the orbital defenses went dark. Cardassian ships drifted aimlessly, their systems in chaos. "We're through!" Reese shouted. Collins leaned forward, his voice cold. "Target the military bases. Fire antimatter warheads." The Blackstar unleashed its payload, streaks of light arcing towards the surface. Collins watched impassively as Cardassia Prime's capital erupted in a series of cataclysmic explosions. As the fires raged below, a new transmission cut through the stunned silence on the bridge. A woman's face appeared on the screen, her eyes burning with fanatical intensity. "I am Regent Alanya," she declared. "You may have crippled the Empire, but you've only ensured your own destruction. The Regents will rise from these ashes, and we will not rest until humanity is exterminated." The transmission cut off, replaced by images of massive weapons being prepped on distant worlds. Collins sank back into his chair, the weight of what they'd done settling on his shoulders. The comm system crackled to life with a flood of incoming messages. Some begged for protection, others threatened annihilation. Collins stared out at the stars, his face a mask of dogged grit. The Blackstar's engines hummed to life, carrying them towards an uncertain future.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.